So I was just sitting out on the balcony trying to um, meditate, really, and just focus on my breathing, but I couldn't stop thinking about this desire I seem to have to want to express myself. And I used to write, and I used to be driven to write. I wouldn't just choose to write because it was fun. No, I would get this train of thought that I just had to express and articulate, and I literally couldn't do anything else but go and write. And now that I've gotten into YouTube, it seems like I can't stop speaking. I can't stop expressing my ideas over videos. And I don't know why exactly. But earlier I was thinking about what is suffering, and I was trying to think of a way to understand and to, you know, gain a relationship with suffering, to really look at it and just let it reveal itself. And I think this desire to express oneself is natural in everyone, I think. And for those who repress that desire, usually they're depressed. I mean, if you don't communicate, if you don't put yourself out there, then you're not going to get any feedback from others. You're not going to be able to build any self-esteem. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to be shot down either. And I think, okay, this is where the suffering comes in. Say someone who enjoys expressing themselves, those get shot down. Because everybody gets shot down. I mean, you get positive feedback and you get negative feedback. And people say, some people say you're on the right track, and other people say, no, you're going in the wrong direction. And you have to work with this disparity. And that's suffering. Putting yourself out there, being alive, existing, having to make a choice without complete knowledge, at least without complete rational knowledge. You might be able to have gnosis. You might be able to have an intuitional connection with, what you're supposed to do. Because, okay, what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to do anything. You can't do anything but what you do. You cannot end suffering. And I read earlier today that when the Buddha said that life is suffering, he was really telling a lie. Sort of as an upaya. It's just a skillful way of forcing the seekers to persist in an ignorant way of viewing the world until their wits end and they just could no longer take that seriously anymore. Make a fool persist in his folly and he will become wise. That sort of idea. Because to pose life as suffering it seems negative. But the Buddha would never identify with any one way of describing the Dharma. Nagarjuna said that suffering was the same as bliss, and that samsara and nirvana are one. So I've noticed there's two kinds of people on YouTube. Some people say they're just trying to understand themselves by posting these videos. And other people say they're just trying to communicate by posting these videos. And for me personally, I don't know if that is even a worthwhile distinction to make, because they both might be related ideas. Communication may be a relation to yourself, especially communicating to humans using a shared language and a shared culture and a shared situation. So posting these videos to learn about your own behavior and your own trains of thought and your own moods and stuff. How does that differ essentially from learning about someone else's ideas and emotions and styles and attitudes of living? I don't know if it does, because even when you do understand someone else, you're doing it through your lens. But you're a human, so we all have a human lens. So in that respect, we do know each other. But it still seems like we couldn't ever really encounter an other. Where is there an other? We're always communicating because we're always connected with everything that there is. There's nothing separate from us. Because if there was, then what do we care about it? It doesn't involve us. It doesn't matter. It's not here. That's why God is dead. Because the Christian God was separate from nature. So obviously, well, it's just nature here. We know that now. A separate God sort of falls away. But the problem is, God fell away altogether. Even the God that can be here, right now, when people communicate, when people are compassionate, and when boundaries and barriers are dispelled. When communication occurs, is really, for it to happen and for it to be genuine, there needs to be some kind of a divine intervention. It certainly happens through humans, but it's still divine.